Could the 76ers sign Jae Crowder, an NBA free agency, to fill that backup power forward role? And also, Joel Embiid is extension eligible officially. We'll give you some details on that contract situation coming up here on the show. I am Jake Chipper here on 76ers Now. Welcome in. And before we get into these topics on today's show, I want to ask you guys a question. We're talking about adding Jae Crowder and filling out this roster. Do you think this roster has enough, as is constructed right now, to win a championship? Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and the surrounding core, can they get it done without making any other moves this season? If you think they have enough, type E. If you think they need to make a move this season to get in that championship contention, type M. Let me know in the comments section. So let's get right into it. Could the Sixers sign Jae Crowder, the veteran wing, to fill that backup power forward role? It's a need for the Sixers. You have KJ Martin, you have Caleb Martin, who is probably going to be slotted into the starting four, but you still need another wing veteran piece who can just add into that rotation if either Ricky Council or KJ Martin can't really fulfill that role. So could Jae Crowder be an option? Now, last year, he's getting older. For the Milwaukee Bucks, just 6 points, 3 rebounds, 42% from the field. Look, Jae Crowder has been around. He's a vet. He has experience. I like the idea of Jae Crowder here on the 76ers. He can space the floor a little bit. He could be that tough, gritty guy for you in that second unit. He doesn't really have necessarily championship experience, but he's played plenty of playoff games in his career. He's sitting out there for the minimum. And, you look at his career the past few years. This season, just 50 games, as I mentioned, not super efficient. Last season, injured, just 18 games played. A couple years before that, we kind of saw what he was, about 9, 10 points per game, about 5 rebounds, shooting close to 40% from 3, but a little bit inconsistent in that area. And as I said, in my opinion, I think it makes sense. A few reasons why I do think it makes sense. Jae Crowder has that dog mentality, right? Like, he's going to play hard. He's going to play tough. And that ties in the next point. He plays with that physicality and toughness. And the Sixers are missing a little bit of that physicality and toughness currently on their roster, especially in that second unit. They don't really have a guy who can, get in there and get those rebounds, make those extra hustle plays at the 4 spot. I think even though he's getting older, I think Jae Crowder can still bring that. He does all the little things right. He's going to contribute to winning because at this point in his career, what does he want to do? He wants to win a championship. I think Philadelphia gives him an opportunity to do that. He's going to get open looks, right? Especially when he's playing minutes with Joel Embiid, with Tyrese Maxey. If you were to sign him, all he has to do is stand in that corner and make open threes. We saw last year players like Tobias Harris would sit in the corner and just brick open 3 after open 3 after open 3 in the corner. Jae Crowder should be reliable enough, again, for a minimum signing, to at least knock down some of those looks, and should be good enough defensively as well, where you're comfortable leaving him on the floor, maybe even come playoff time. And it's, again, as I mentioned, it's a big need for the Sixers. KJ Martin, I'm not sure if he's going to be really ready to play significant minutes this year. The Sixers really like him, and they gave him a big deal, about $8 million a year, again, because they could pay him and kind of think of him as a trade piece later on in the year. I don't really see him being a part of this rotation unless he shows some major improvement. So Jae Crowder, I think, at least gives you a little bit more of a floor where, you have a veteran coming in. We know Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse this offseason have loved to bring in those veterans, and Nick Nurse doesn't always love to play the young guys, so maybe someone with a little more experience and a more toughness like Jae Crowder. Look, I'm all for this move. I think it makes sense. You need to fill one more roster spot, and that power forward spot is sort of that last big glaring hole for the Sixers. So why not bring in a guy like Jae Crowder, 3-and-D, can knock down those corner triples above the break threes, and just be tough, be physical, and just hopefully not make mistakes and make winning plays. But you heard it from me. I'm all for bringing in Jae Crowder. I think it would be a smart signing for the Sixers and Daryl Morey to fill out that last roster spot because, again, there's not too many other options out there in free agency. But what say you? Would you want to sign Jae Crowder as that last piece for this roster, type S for sign? If you're saying, Chip, there are way better options out there than Jae Crowder. He's cooked. He's washed. He didn't do anything with the Bucks last year. I want somebody else. That's fine. Type P for pass. And while you're at it, give me another name. If you want to pass on Jae Crowder, let me know somebody else you would like the Sixers to sign. Now, coming up next, Joel Embiid is extension eligible. They can sign him this offseason to an extension. They can sign him and wait till next offseason to an extension, but we're going to get into all of the details on that situation coming up here in just a minute. But first, got to tell you guys to go get your Paul George jerseys, man. PG8 here in Philadelphia. It's an exciting time, obviously, for the city. He's been making his rounds on his media availabilities and on his podcast, just saying what it means to be in the city of Philadelphia and playing for this franchise. We got to see the first look of him on the court in his Sixers jersey the other day. So it's really great just to, see it's starting to move along and see him here on this team. It's very exciting. So you got to go get your Paul George jerseys right now. Chatsports.com/Paul George through our friends at Fanatics. I know I'm going to be getting one, and I know they're going to be going and selling out very, very fast. So make sure you get yours now before they go. They got blue, they got white. Again, that's chatsports.com/Paul George. That'll be in the description and attached to the pinned comment of today's video to make it easier for y'all. So go get your Paul George jersey right now. So getting to the topic of the Embiid extension, obviously the Sixers gave Paul George a massive, massive max contract to come to Philadelphia, and they extended Tyrese Maxey to his max extension. But now Joel Embiid is coming up on looking for a new extension, and the details on that potential extension, he is signed already on his current contract through the 2025-26 season, so he can right now be eligible to sign a 3-year, $192 million extension. So that'll take him through the 2028-2029 season. And let me just say, with the NBA signing, these new TV right deals, media deals, and just the salary cap going up as much as it has, I mean, some of these numbers are just absolutely staggering. $59 million in 2026-27, $64 million in 27-28, and can get up to $69 million in 2028-29. Again, those numbers do look massive, but the cap will be going up. So, it really all counts as a percentage of the cap. So it's not quite as bad as it looks, but just seeing nearly $70 million, that is ridiculous. Now, we do have a quote here from Brian Toprick, who kind of broke down the extension and some of the details on what a potential extension could look like for Joel Embiid. Embiid would have to sign the extension, this is important, prior to the first day of the 2024-2025 regular season. Since he still has multiple years left on his contract, he would be ineligible to sign an extension once the regular season begins. So again, keep an eye on that. The first day of the regular season, if he doesn't sign an extension by then, he will be ineligible. If he declines to sign an extension this summer, the Sixers could offer him a 4-year, $266.7 million max extension next offseason. He could, instead of signing that extension, decide to test unrestricted free agency in the summer of 2026 when he'd be eligible for a 5-year, $345 million max deal. So just ran through a couple of the potential options Joel Embiid has in signing an extension. Can sign it now, can sign it next summer, or can just wait, hit unrestricted free agency, and sign a mega super max deal. So what will Embiid want to do? What will the Sixers want to do? Will they want to get it taken care of now? Will they want to get it taken care of later? Let's sort of run through a few of those options. Well, I think Embiid should sign the contract now. Look, he's 30 years old. He's not getting any younger. And obviously Embiid has his injury history. If I'm Embiid, why would I want to wait and potentially suffer another major injury this year, and all of a sudden I might not be having the long-term financial security I'm looking for, might not be able to sign, the number I'm looking for. He's still going to get paid. He's Joel Embiid, of course, even if he gets hurt. But he could just be thinking, like, I just want to get my money now. I don't want to risk anything happening down the road. Like, we got Paul George here. We got Tyrese Maxey for the long haul. Let me just sign my deal, get that 3-year extension, not have to think about it, and just go out and play a championship. So I could see that being his mentality. I could also, see the aspect of why he should wait and sign an extension either next summer or even wait until unrestricted free agency the summer after that, because this next contract he gets, whether, again, it's this year, next year, the year after, could be his last massive one. Who knows how long Joel Embiid's going to play for. He said he wants to play for a long, long time and, keep going as long as he can. But those injuries, those lower body injuries keep piling up year after year after year. Who knows how long he'll really be able to play at a super, super elite level. So what if this next contract is his last big one? Well, if you're Joel Embiid, wouldn't you want to get as much money as you possibly can based off of the success you've had so far in your career? I think that is also, a frame of mind and a thought process Embiid could be having. So I could see kind of both ways. Get my money now, don't risk it, don't worry about it, but also maybe wait a year or two and try to milk out the most I can out of this potential extension. But what makes the most sense for the 76ers as a team? From a business perspective, I'm sure you'd want to save as much money as you can and be able to sign him now and get the deal done. So, if I'm the Sixers, I think that makes sense. But look, it's when you're talking about a player like Joel Embiid, and I'm Daryl Morey, and we're talking about a contract extension right now. Whatever Embiid says he wants to do, that's what I'm going to do. If Embiid comes and he's like, I don't really want to sign this extension right now. Let's play out the contract. Let's, worry about this next summer. We'll do that. Whatever Embiid's asking for, I'm giving it to him. I'm not negotiating with Joel Embiid. I'm not getting all technical on the numbers and trying to save money and cut some corners. If Embiid wants the bag, whatever he wants to do, sign it this year, next year, the summer after, I am doing that because it's Joel Embiid, the face of your franchise, the MVP, the process, the guy who drug you out of those horrible, horrible years, many years ago when the Sixers were running Isaiah Cannon and Hollis Thompson out in the court. So I don't want to, be reminded of those days, go back to those days. Joel Embiid brought you out of that. He deserves every and anything he could want. But now you have the opportunity here on the show to be Daryl Morey. If you were Daryl, would you offer Embiid an extension this offseason? Give me a Y for yes, give me an N for no. Again, if he signs this offseason, less years, a little bit less money, he can also wait and sign a long-term extension for a little bit more money than future offseasons. But let me know. Be Daryl Morey, Y for yes, N for no. Appreciate you tuning in. 276ers now here on the channel. Again, I am Jake Chipper. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that sub button to get videos every single day here on the channel. We're trying to approach 20,000 subs after a great month of July. Appreciate all the real ones, and we'll see you next time here on 76ers Now.